Hello, welcome back to the Friends of Zeus Podcast. Let me take care of the business. We are on episode 78. 78?
Yeah, very good year. Very good.
Don't interrupt me. I was about to say 78.
Oh.
You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, Stitcher, Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Podcast. I think that covers them all. I'm gonna try and get us on Twitch and Instagram here soon, because I think it's just, you know, they're good platforms for getting your name out.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight we're gonna talk about what this picture behind me is a result of. We went on our first annual, possibly quarterly or biannual, Friends of Zeus podcast camping trip. I think I can speak for everyone when I say that it was a blast.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of good
Absolutely.
a lot of strange occurrences that happened while we were, well, maybe not a lot, but a couple. But it was pretty cool because for those that do watch the show, you know, we were all over the place. I mean, a lot of us are in the DC metropolitan area, but Jack and his fiance Dana, who's been on the show before, are both in the New Jersey area. So it was pretty cool to get everybody together. We weren't able to get Jason this time. Had we stayed Monday, he would have definitely come. He actually kind of reamed me out for not calling him, but it was like, dude, we had to leave. It was raining. You wouldn't have wanted to come anyway.
Did he like show up and we were gone?
Oh no, that would have been hilarious.
Yeah, we should have left the camera running or something.
That'd have been a story for the ages.
Post-credit scene.
Yeah, he did not show up. But he texted me like the next day when I got home and said, you know, oh no, that's right, the next day was Monday. That's when he was going to come. So yeah, good thing he texted me.
Good thing he called.
I doubt he would have taken the initiative to come to drive an hour and a half to get out there without some kind of you know, confirmation that it was going on.
So hey Zeus, where did we camp? Let's tell all the people in podcast land where we were.
So we camped at Cunningham Falls. It's in Maryland. It's near a town called Thurmont. It is also the home of the presidential
retreat,
Camp David. So I was really, what's that?
Did we see Biden?
No, we did not. He usually goes to Connecticut or something, doesn't he? Or Delaware?
Delaware.
Yeah. Kind of like Trump always went to Mar-a-Lago rather than go to Camp David. I think Camp David might get renovated and sold to the highest bidder. It's starting to seem like nobody wants to go there.
No one wants to go there.
Yeah, I don't remember hearing anything with Biden about Camp David. I mean, I'm not Biden, Obama, but I mean that could have happened. But
they've all been there. I mean, every president I think has gone, but some use it more than others. It's usually more for diplomacy, not for vacation.
I think it's also like a secondary bunker kind of situation because it's in a mountain or on a mountain.
And we were able to get into that bunker actually this weekend. Jack found it. It was behind a rock right near our campsite, actually.
Yeah. I actually tripped on the rock because I don't go hiking really ever. So
and the door opened and
yeah, that was it.
Yeah, man, it was pretty cool.
So I guess, I mean, if we want to start from somewhere, I guess we should start from the beginning. So I showed up. I think I was the first one there, right?
It was 1970.
It was 1972.
Oh, 70. Oh, okay.
We'll get into that later. I still think it was 1872, and she was a big fan of Susan B. Anthony.
Oh yeah, you're spoiling. Yeah. So Zeus was the first one there. I hadn't even left the house yet, and he was like, I'm 8 minutes away or 20 minutes away or something like that.
Oh boy.
And he was like,
Yeah.
I'm leaving in a half an hour.
Yeah.
Like, great. So I basically stalled because it was raining when we got there, and just chilled out with the boys, had some food, sat in the car, listened to music, and then Mike finally showed up. We made short work of it. I would say it took us about an hour to get,
Base camp.
places that we could stand and be dry. Then we got up the tents and chilled. And then you, Jack, showed up probably a little bit later than that. Then the hugs and hellos, all that, which was really nice. It was really cool to, like I was saying earlier, to have that resonated where like we actually got to see people in human form.
I don't think that should be lost on the audience. They have to realize that even though we've been doing this podcast since February of 2021, we'd never met. Well, Zeus and I go back like 30 years, but it occurred to me as we were heading down there, I hadn't seen him in about 20.
That threw me. I didn't realize you guys hadn't seen each other in that long.
No, it's been since I think Caden was born, right, Zeus?
Yeah, he was a little baby. He was probably, I'm guessing, about 1.
Yeah, so
Jacob was walking around pointing to his nose and doing tricks as we'll make them do.
Yeah, I think that must have been about 2004, so almost 20 years.
Yeah.
And we've always stayed in touch, and we stayed in touch enough so that when Zeus said I'm starting a podcast with some friends, that I know from this area, do you want to jump in? I was like, yeah, that'd be cool. Let's do a podcast. But that feels like forever ago because, like you said, we're on episode 78,
and
which still blows my mind.
And that I can't remember the episode number.
Yeah, no, not that. But also, like Zeus is saying, Mike and I and Tom and I had never met at all. And
Mike and Tom have met. They came.
Yeah, but I'm saying I never met either one of them. Yeah. And it turns out Mike and Tom had only met one time for this podcast.
For the podcast at the poor quality or the poor audio quality podcast we did.
Oh boy,
somewhere in the 30s, I think. I don't know. It was everyone was echoing and we had a disclaimer. But still, even with that podcast, I walked in, shook hands with Tom, said hi, and we started the podcast like 5 minutes later, and then he left. And so I didn't even get a chance to. I spent more time with him this weekend than them, obviously.
You guys bonded because I believe that was the episode where you go, it's always Hitler with him.
Yeah. Well, we had to share a computer. But I didn't realize that you guys hadn't seen each other in so long. That was shocking to me. I did not know that. I've always assumed that Zeus was seeing you guys as much as he and I were seeing each other, which would be like, every month or 2 or 3 or whatever.
I've tried over the last, like when I went up to New York to take the wife and kids to fly to Poland because they had to save $40.
Yeah.
I tried to connect with Jack then, and then when I came back up to bring them back because saving another $40.
But like, when was the last time you saw Tom? Do you guys see each other much?
No, last time I saw Tom was when you. Oh no. When we did the DC trip, you and I.
Yeah.
I went to borrow the camera from him. So we met in Reston.
Gotcha.
I got a camera. So
I thought, by the way, I just want to mention this so I don't forget it. I thought of another place we could go. And I don't know if it's still cool or not, but we could all go to Atlantic City for a weekend. Do they still have open casinos there? I don't even know.
Sure.
Do they blow everything up yet?
Or we can make Jack and Dana drive even further, and we can just go to MGM, which is right down the street.
But Atlantic City's not far from you, Jack, right? I mean, an hour and a half?
It's not too bad. Maybe 2 hours.
Okay.
Hit the Jersey Shore. I was thinking Beach House might be cool.
Yeah,
like,
great.
if we can figure it out logistically.
Here's the thing about beach houses. They're much less expensive in the wintertime.
I don't give a shit if it's.
No, I'm saying that's what I'm talking about. I've gone to beach a million times in the winter because it's like nothing. It's really inexpensive.
Oh, that's
Yeah, so the thing I thought, one of my favorite things about the whole thing is like it was clear that somehow either via our text or talking to each other individually without me like being involved, like you calling Jack and talking to Jack or you talking to Tom, like it was like we've known each other for years. It was like I've known everybody as long as I've known Jack.
Well, and also we have a text thread that includes all of us that we pretty much keep fired up every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's true.
There's a lot of conversing amongst the four of us. I know Tom's not here right now, but it was. I think Mike, you talked about the surreal quality of meeting people that you already seem to know and see all the time.
Yeah, that's the first time I can think of that. I mean, personally, I haven't had that before where I felt like I knew somebody before I met them face to face.
Yeah, no, it was very strange. I felt the same way.
And it's not like that, seeing Dan Rather on the TV every week on the news or whatever and being familiar with their mannerisms. This is like real, like we just had real conversation. We just never were physically in front of each other. So that was very cool. It made me very happy that worked out the way it did. Not as happy that we didn't get to do one out in the woods, but that's my own.
Which we are always going to regret.
Yeah, I really do feel that because it would have been. I mean, I have the feeling it would have been an editing nightmare.
It would have been, maybe. Well, we won't. I think for 2000. I think we stop editing anything out anymore. I think we should stop doing that.
I'm so tempted to just say something that we have to edit out.
Who has time for that? I don't have time for that.
I sure as hell don't.
It makes the editing much faster.
Yeah, you're a camping illusion there.
Yeah, no, I'm still out here at the campsite. I installed some blinds here behind me around the campfire. Helps.
Yeah, so
it helps keep the bugs out.
Helps keep.
That was
so. We didn't have many bugs. Did you guys get like mosquito bites?
Not a one.
My daughter got like a ton of mosquito bites, and I was like, I didn't get any. I didn't know anyone else that got any.
Well, did you guys spray yourselves with like the DET?
No, absolutely not. No.
Dana and I doused ourselves in that shit. So we just wanted to make sure.
No, I saw that, man, and I normally do. Like, I love the smell of like deep woods off. Like, it's like cologne to me.
This is how much not campers they are, Mike. They're spraying it on their clothes. Like
no, you should. It keeps the ticks off. No, I normally do the same thing, man.
You gotta put it on your skin. You gotta put it on your skin to keep
you know what I do normally when I'm camping? I take my shoes and I spray the outside of my shoes with it. Typically, before I put them on.
Why, pray tell us that?
Well, to help keep ticks off and other stuff, and
all right. I guess I never considered. I always figured that it has to be on your skin, or else they can get in. But
well, we sprayed the skin too. We pretty much bathed in the shit.
Yeah, no, and I love it. I love the smell. I love how it feels. Yeah, I mean, it's really nice. It's really nice. I should have used it more.
And so then what happened was Dana started cooking for us delicious peppers and sausage.
That was on my best of list, actually.
And we sat back, chilled, chatted for a while. It was just amazing. Like I said, we just talked like we were on the show. We could have. There were many times while we were out there that I was like, we should just be recording ourselves
the whole time.
Especially when we got more inebriated later on in the evening after the kids went to sleep.
We should definitely mention the fact that it wasn't just us podcasters. There were little ones running around.
There were little ones.
Yes,
Mike, you brought your daughter, and she's what,
7.
7 years old.
Yep.
And Zeus, you brought your 2 sons, and you have a 13-year-old that's taller than all of us, including you.
He's huge. He's huge.
You know? And then you had Max, who I believe you said was 5.
6.
Six.
6. And then Tom brought his 3 children as well, and they
5.
ranged, they ranged in age from
5 to 12.
5 to 12. So we had Rugrats running around as well. It wasn't all just, debauchery or anything like that. There were children to take care of.
And it was funny because like there was like so many things with my daughter. And like she ate. Like I did make meals for like Max and Rosanna a few times, but typically, I got to be there for everything. And like when I was driving home, I'm like, I never took her to the bathroom. I never helped her change. Like she just did her own thing like the whole weekend,
Yeah, see, camping's good for kids. They learn. They
She
learn
drove-
to survive.
She drove home, while I was sleeping in the back seat.
That's great.
Yeah.
What a
First time.
maturing process. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, of course, kids are always on best behavior when strangers around. But me and Ollie, I don't like to say the names, but anyway, we tend to butt heads a lot, and he was just great.
He
Like,
was fantastic, man. He was great.
He was laughing at my jokes, which he normally doesn't do. He normally just say, Dad. But he was like my biggest fan. It was pretty cool.
And he was cool with the little ones too. No, he was a help, dude. I mean, he helped me a few times with stuff, and no, Ollie was great.
Yeah,
No,
he was
Ollie
great.
helped us a lot. He helped us set up the tent, remember, because he had the height advantage as far as that, and he knew how to work the tent poles. Yeah, I mean, I think it needs to be pointed out before we even get to the trip that Dana and I are from a city in New Jersey. And when I say city, I mean like urban.
Urban.
I mean like concrete, no green.
jungle, the concrete jungle, I like to call it.
No, we have parks, where moms take their kids on the strollers and they go down the slide, and that's about as rural as we have. I mean, it's a lot of concrete and brownstone buildings and a couple of high rises, and you look across the scenic river and there's Manhattan Island.
Yeah.
There's no trees there either.
It's not Thurmont. It's not Thurmont, Maryland.
No, it's not Thurmont at all. And
No.
And I also have to point out that Dana and I have never been camping.
You guys did a good job, man.
As was evidenced by their immense fear of snakes and bears.
So that picture, and I don't know if we have it, but of you in the sleeping bag next to the snake guy, that was classic. I love that pic. I love that composite. But Jack, you guys did a good job. I can't say I would be that good, and I'm not like some hardened camper. I mean, I was in Boy Scouts, and we've been out on. Every time we take the trailer out, we call it a cruise. So we've been out on like, I don't know, 25 cruises with that thing. So, but no, you guys did well. You didn't seem like a noob to me.
Well, it's just funny too, because as we're getting there I am.
There it is. It's awesome.
Yeah, I was trying to recreate a scene from the old 70s movie, The Prophecy, which is a horror movie about a radioactive bear that attacks a campsite. And at one point, a little child in a sleeping bag with his face sticking out like that tries to hop away from the radioactive bear. And all you see is the whole sleeping bag gets swatted into a tree and feathers come out. If anybody likes horror movies, I recommend The Prophecy. Not The Prophecy, The Prophecy.
I've never heard of it.
So one thing I did want to mention is Mike and I had great giggles at the fact that we hadn't all met each other, and due to the fact that this is generally the view of the other people in the podcast that anybody gets. I kept telling, I was like, Mike, how funny would it be? I knew you can walk. I knew you weren't disabled, but how uncomfortable it would be if like Dana showed up in a wheelchair, and you're like in one of those, fans with the lifts. And then it just progressed from that to, you know what, we should go get a wheelchair. Just have Mike show up, roll on up to everybody. Hey, come on down here and give me a.
It's your only shot to do a joke like that, and like you couldn't do a joke like that before podcasts, right? I don't know. Maybe you could have, but
Kind of a unique. You could, but a lot more buildup. This one is just you have the perception of good health because you can see heads moving, but outside of that, it's all everything.
I mean, everyone pretty much was the way I imagined them. So that wasn't too much of a throw. It was more just weird seeing people in 3 dimensions. Yeah. It was just kind of like,
it was strange.
Like seeing Jack in profile, or like I don't know. It was just that was kind of cool.
And we were really lucky. Normally, now Jack, you wouldn't know this, but normally in a camping trip, the bathrooms are
further. Well, and they're horrible. Yeah,
they're nasty, and they got like the bathroom at the lake is much more like what the bathrooms usually are at a campground. Ours were like pristine. Like
yeah, that was another thing that we feared a lot going into this trip. I think Mike, you had said bring bedding, bring a flashlight, bring bug spray, and there was a 4th thing.
Air repellent.
I know. I can't remember.
I can't remember what it was, but so we kind of like, you guys had told us we'll have a tent. You guys had extra tents. And so we definitely had to bring bedding, but the tent situation was going to be, and by the way, the idea of sleeping in a tent for 2 city people that never went camping was a little disturbing because you're picturing like one of those little cartoon tents with the teepee top that's only about 4 feet above the ground, like Blair Witch Project kind of tent. So we were apprehensive about that. We've all also been suffering from a heat wave that they're saying is actually climate change.
Yeah.
Because it's so hot. And so we thought, and I knew how humid it could get in Maryland, right?
It was beautiful.
But we went into it thinking muggy and buggy.
Yeah.
Like this is going to be like maybe horrible.
Yeah.
And Dana and I were both getting more apprehensive as we got closer to the trip.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where we were looking up local hotels.
Yes. Yes.
And so the plan was we're going to suffer one night no matter what. We are in Friday night, but if it's that terrible,
then we're going to
we're going to hang out all day Saturday, but we're going to sleep at the Ramblers Inn right down the road. Like we even scouted it, and then we found the Ramblers Inn when we went to go get smokes and fill up the car. It was right by the
Ramblers.
It was right by Skeets.
They're gonna go stay at Camp David. Nobody's staying there.
Right. So then just to finish the travel there.
Yeah.
So we stop at Walmart, and I knew I was getting a case of water bottles because I drink a lot of water and I wanted to make sure I had water. So I knew I was getting that.
That's key. Yeah.
And we knew we were getting a sleeping bag, thinking that one was big enough for the 2 of us, which was a mistake.
Yes.
So we got a sleeping bag. We got bug spray. And then we're in like the produce and the meat aisle, and Dana's shopping like she's going to make this elaborate sausage and peppers meal on a campfire. And I'm very dubious. I told her, I said, put that back. We're going to run out to the store that's local. We're going to get hot dogs and burgers. And like, why are you buying Italian sausage, 2 different kinds?
Oh, yeah.
And green and red peppers and garlic cloves and onions.
You can do it.
I'm so glad she didn't listen.
And I got to give her credit. That first night she brought her skillet with her from home.
Yeah. And
she brought a knife and a cutting board.
It was key. That was awesome.
And she made us a nice Italian feast on a campfire, which I got
amongst us all, between us all, everything seemed to be covered.
Yeah. Well, and you guys did hook us up. Mike, I think it was your tent. That thing, it was bigger than I thought. It had all the zippers to keep the bugs out. the only thing we screwed up was we didn't bring our air mattress. So we literally slept on the
Because you didn't think it would fit.
On the hard ground.
We slept on the hard ground. That was like maybe the only drawback to the whole trip.
And that's not even, once you fall asleep, you gotta, it wasn't hot, so you could have slept outside of your sleeping bags and probably been pretty comfortable.
No, it actually, you're right. It was
Nights beautiful.
It was cool out. There were no bugs. The bathroom was right by our site.
And not only was the bathroom right by our site, but like I told my wife is a super skilled camper and she couldn't make it because she had to work Saturday. But the thing that was great about the location, those two sites, was even though the bathroom was right next to us, it was downhill, so it wasn't like immediately visible. It wasn't like in your face,
and it was
like
clean,
right next to you.
Smell it.
Yeah, I know. It was.
You may have been done a disservice by this trip, because I think Mike will back me up on this, and if Tom was on here too, it was a pretty much flawless camping trip.
Yeah, no, that site. I want to go back there.
In the rain when we left, but otherwise, weather was perfect. We had most everything we needed. I think I went to the store the first night and got like beer and a couple of sundry items, but we could have had a great time without it. I'm glad I didn't forget the beer, because that made for lighter talking later.
I left an entire box of food at home by accident and didn't realize it until I was 45 minutes away from home. So that was nice that Zeus could get some stuff. But here's the thing with camping.
The bathroom?
The what? We are like, the bathroom is like, I'm going to put that on my list. That was like one of the best things, the bathroom.
And yet people were not able to make it to the bathroom.
That was also one of my favorite things on the list. Yeah.
So if I may, I'll just go into that. So there was a problem with my youngest. My youngest will just run off. He's actually very good. He doesn't put himself in danger. He usually does what he should, like, except for the telling the adults part about it, because he's a very cute child. He's very snatchable. And that always gets me worried. And so Mike's getting ready to go to bed. I think this is the second night. And he's like, oh, so Max runs down to the bathroom. There, I've given both my children's names. He runs down to the bathroom, and we were all on like parent alert. I think it was like you or Dana, actually, which is funny because you guys are like grown children.
Yes.
We still got the little ones.
I'm not really experienced.
Mike or Jack and Dana are like, I think that was Max. And I'm like, well, I'm like going into worry mode, heading out towards the tent. They're like, no, down at the bathroom. I get down there and he had to poop, and he's in there, and it reeked. It was a grown-up poop. And it was like CSI crime scene. It took me a long time to get it clean. And so I finally walk him up to the back to the camper, and I'm there, and Mike's standing there with the door open. He's like, I think he pooped in the camper.
There's a Thurmont steamer sitting right there on the floor, man.
I'm like, no, that's got to be sand. And I knew it, like, visually I knew it was sand, but denial mode went into play. I'm like, no.
It's not that bad. We can wait till morning. We can wait till morning to deal with that.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I saw it, but I didn't want to see it. So I actually convinced myself that it was anything but exactly what it looked like.
No, to me, the funniest part of this story was, so we were on two campsites, and we had one campsite that was mainly for the kids, and then one campsite where we had our campfire, where I still am with my blinds. Yes. And Zeus's little one,
camper.
Very spacious, and Zeus's little one was running through the woods, probably about 20 yards, screaming or yelling, and to the bathroom, and we were all sitting around the campfire. So just hearing that and seeing that was pretty amazing. And then we're like, oh, should we do something? Like, I'm glad that there wasn't like someone chasing him or something, because we were a little delayed with our response. But Zeus ran down to the bathroom, and then I ran to the camper. My daughter was sleeping,
I don't know how she could have. It
was pretty bad. Pretty bad.
Very bad. So that was my number one story. I mean, number two story actually.
Number two. That was a first. Yeah.
That one was pretty hilarious. But,
and I did tell Audrey, so she knows.
Oh, is it forgiven?
Oh, no problem.
I know she loves Max.
Yeah.
That was a good one. It's the funny thing, and this is like the sign of a perfect camping trip too. Did anybody take a shower?
Oh, we were camping.
No, I didn't.
Oh, no, you take showers camping. I normally do, but
if it was 3 nights, I probably would have. But like, I also got in the lake, which was that's another story.
Yeah.
But
I
we'll talk
equated
about
to us
that.
having fun though, because we were in the gross ass lake, and we did step in the nasty
To the knees.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
as Mike called it, the pudding at the bottom of the lake.
It had a Camp Crystal Lake quality to it, just as far as I got out.
Yeah, but just as far as the just one last thing, just so that the audience doesn't get a misconception. The cool thing also about the downhill, the bathroom, we were far enough away where we didn't have to deal with foot traffic of people coming and going. I mean, at all.
No,
at all. And
not at all.
It ended up being the spot for people who smoke cigarettes like myself, and Dana, and nobody else, but
0 other people.
Right, no other people except for like people that were at the campsite. Like we turned it into a little.
I think my daughter had a few. But...
Yeah, I didn't want to say anything, Mike.
Yeah,
you better talk to her.
She's expressing herself.
If Max doesn't have a cigarette first thing in the morning, he's a bear.
It's just hard, man. You got to give your kids a cigarette in the morning.
Cigarettes are cool, as Mike kept saying.
Well, at least
smoking is cool.
Yeah,
smoking is cool. Man.
At least you guys let them do it with us because they were on a little trip. It's like, what happens in Thurmont stays in Thurmont.
Stays in Thurmont. Yeah, man. I mean, you can play with fire, drive the car, smoke cigarettes.
Another funny thing. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Zeus.
I was gonna say one of the other funny things that to me was how we kind of broke down Dana and Jack's fear because they were legitimately scared of a snake.
Dude, I would be.
Well, wait, and then bears they hadn't even really considered until me, being the mischievous one that I am, decided to tell them that the camp host drove around and told us that there's bears
which did happen. The camp host did stop, specifically come to our campsite and specifically told us about the bears because the night before there were bears around.
So anytime
there's also signs plastered all over the camp talking about bears. So it's not like no one did anything to assuage our fears of the bears.
We added one.
Can I say something? Look, I'm not like Bear Grylls here. Like I'm a city guy more than a camping dude, even though I've been camping a million times. And I'm freaked. Like I don't like leeches and ticks and like
ticks make
bears and snakes. Like that stuff drives me crazy, like big time. So it's a legit concern. I mean, I went camping out a few years ago during COVID out to a primitive campsite, like probably about 50 miles west of where we were, like out in the nowhere's town. And it was a primitive campsite, so there wasn't any bathroom, there wasn't any fire ring, there wasn't a picnic table. It was just like you're just in the middle of the woods. And I was legit concerned. Like I had the trailer, like we set the trailer up and all that stuff, and we were out there with some other friends. But I was like, I don't know what the hell's out here. I mean, in the middle of the night, you're hearing stuff in the woods, branches cracking and stuff like that. You don't know what the hell's out there.
Right.
It's definitely, it's nice.
Yeah.
I like getting out there. I like having that experience. I like being around the firelight. I like not being in control of everything.
Without the trailer, there's no way in God's green earth I would do that.
In the middle of nowhere,
No, I like the fire grill set up for us. I like the bathroom being there.
Yeah,
I don't know, Jack. There's something to be said for roughing it because honestly, you don't hear about people being attacked by animals.
It doesn't really happen.
It
I mean, if
doesn't.
you're
They're
smart,
afraid
you
of the
got
fire,
to
the
keep the
noise.
food.
It's all foreign to them. It would be the equivalent of us going out into the woods and aliens being there, and they're just camping.
And they're there. I mean, actually, did we hit the under or the over on alien sightings this weekend? I can't remember. I think the over under was 3. Did we get the? I think we
No,
got the
but we
under.
did have peculiar moments.
Yes.
But I wanted
we
to
did.
say one of my favorite things was with Jack and Dana. I was legitimately getting them a couple times because they'd say something about bears, and I'd be like, "Oh, you got nothing to worry about with the bears. They're terrified of snakes." And then they start talking about snakes. I was like, "Nah, snakes never come around the bears." And at first they were like, "Oh yeah, very funny." And by the end of it, I had beat it into the ground enough. They were just like, "There's no bears coming here. It's not happening."
No, I mean, like I said, I like the amenities.
It's nice, but it is a cool feel when you're out there. Even if you're just like 100 feet into the woods and there's a road by, but you got to dig a hole, like things like that, little simple things that make it.
Just to give you some context, Jack, that site for what it is, where you have like the prepped sites and it's on a loop and you've got like a bathroom or whatever, it was, of all the places I've been, it was like an 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah,
like
it was.
Nice. It was a good one. Like I've been to ones that are like 5 out of 10, but that was a good one.
No, we legitimately had a good time, and even the first night in the tent where we didn't really have, because the second night Tom gave us those 2 long inflatable, sort of like an inch of cushion.
Yeah.
You had given us the one that was good if you were like a newborn baby.
the 40-year-old Thermarest.
Yeah, that didn't do much the first night, but.
No.
But I'll tell you this, after we all went to bed, Dana and I were laying in the tent, and it was so cool to just hear crickets, because we don't hear that here.
Yeah.
And all you could hear were crickets, and at one point there was this hum noise, and it stopped.
That's kind of, you've heard of the cicadas. That's kind of the thing you get with the cicadas, where you get that like superfluous hum.
What do you think? What was it?
Well, I don't know. Like I said, well, it could be electrical, like somebody's got something going at the trailer, but of course your mind goes, and she's freaking out. She's like, what if it's a bear? This was our first night there in the dark, in the middle of the night. We were up till like 2:30 that first night. And by the time we all got settled, and for the first time that night, I worried about, not to sound like Friday the 13th, but I said, there's a lot of people at this campsite and we don't know anything about any of
it. That's true. I never thought of it that way. You're right. So you don't know.
Yeah, it could be some person just creeping around the campsite while we're in here. And you guys were at one site sleeping, and we were by ourselves on the other site. And I said,
that's right. Before Tom got there.
That's right.
True.
So I'm thinking, something could happen to us, and they wouldn't even wake up.
Oh no, it's pretty quiet. All that noise, you still hear breaks in the noise. We heard Matt's.
I'm saying it made it a little harder to
fall. No, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, I think I got 2 hours sleep that first night, and I got up early, and it was just me and Ali, because he gets up really early. And so then we're both trying to figure out how to pop the trunk of Dana's car, because I had snacks in there.
You're turning into bears.
Yeah, I was like, Max, we got breakfast in that trunk. You and I are going to figure out how to pop the trunk with this little stupid keychain thing that she's got. And we finally figured it out.
I have a quick question. So how was everybody's Monday?
Sucked.
Yeah. It was good? But you slept the whole time probably, Zeus, right?
Well, I mean, I'm still off from then.
I'm just last night I started feeling normal again.
Yeah, I'm a little wonky too. Because man, it was it was the most relaxed I've been in a really long time for several reasons. Getting good and inebriated was definitely one of them, and the bizarre conversations that we had was just hilarious. Like, well, just one of my favorite things is and I do truly mean this. I was busting you guys' chops, but you guys were intervening with me on something, and it's just for if anybody I'm working with, it wasn't like drugs or anything like that. It was just like a situation that I need to adjust. And you guys were like, we love you, man. We're just trying to tell you this. We love you. It's just about this. It's just about that. You got to fix this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what about the coconuts on Gilligan's Island? Like I was in Dance Little Monkeys mode. I was like, what can I do to change this conversation?
Yeah.
But I think that happened
because you guys were like, yeah, why the fuck couldn't they get off the island? And we just totally went down Gilligan's Island. But I did appreciate it. I was just like, all right, now I'm starting to feel bad.
Yeah, I was feeling bad for you feeling bad, which was obvious because you weren't talking.
But that's what friends do, man. I think it was like we were all there and like we're in 3D.
Not mad or angry or disappointed.
And it's not like, dude, I mean, for all the people in podcast land out there, this was like 5 or 10 minutes. It's not like we were like on you for an hour.
Me. It was all very sweet.
It was all positive.
I'll be right back.
Okay, there he goes.
Yeah, it was good.
Now we can talk about Jack. So let me tell you about Jack. No.
Hey, Jack.
Let me tell you what Jack did.
Again.
I will say, when I got back, like coming back Sunday,
yeah,
I was, when I got home, I was beat, man. I mean, it was like,
I was shredded.
To bed, got up the next day, I worked. I went to some appointments, came back in the afternoon, went to the pool, and I told my wife, we're like at the pool, it's like 5 p.m. or something. I was like, look, here's what I have in me. I'm going to go to Chipotle. I'm going to get us some dinner. We're going to go home. We're going to watch some Holy Moly. I'm going to bed. That's it. That's like all, that's all I have left in the tank, man. I'm done. I was so tired. And then I realized the first night, Friday night, I think I got 3 hours of sleep. And the second night, I think I got like 3.5 hours of sleep.
Yeah, that sounds about right, Mike.
Yeah, I'll probably sleep my best tonight. Because also we were up till ungodly hours. The first
3:42 on Saturday before I looked at the time. That was the other thing. Like I never looked at the time, which is a testament to our conversation. I now was shocked. Like the first night it was like 2:30. I thought it was 10:30. Like I had no idea what time it was.
There was one point I'm sitting next to Mike and I go, and Mike goes, what's your favorite 3 songs? And I'm like, oh, Pink Floyd, Pearl Jam.
Gotta keep it going till dawn, man. No, I hadn't been up that late in a while.
And the second night was later than the first night, but the first night was like 1:30, maybe 2 o'clock.
No, it was 2:30 plus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can say just for me, the first night I wasn't tired. And the second night though, well, we should point out the Saturday afternoon, that's when we went out to the lake, and I don't know if you guys want to talk about that experience.
Oh yeah, we can. Yep. Yeah. Oh, so yeah, we went out to this lake, which is right, I don't know, what, 5-minute drive, something like that. Do you have pictures, Zeus?
I do have pictures of the lake. That was Jack and I the second night about 2:30, 3 o'clock.
Oh yeah, there's the pop-up with lights. We got
it does look rather luxurious for a campsite.
The lake was pretty warm, but it was, it was a lake. It's got some like flotsam and jetsam lying in it or whatever. My whole thing is, since I'm waiting to get waiting to have surgery, I was like, I walked down there and it was all downhill. And I was like, when I leave here, I'm leaving here. Oh, that's why I got sunburned on my face. The bill of the hat is facing up.
No kidding, Gilligan.
I got some sunburn on my nose. And I was like, how did I get sunburn on my nose? That's proof. Look at these pictures, man. This is
How about
great.
This one? I just noticed this one while we were waiting. So this is Tom's lovely little daughter, but what's up with this creep standing behind her?
Who is that? Who's that dude?
No clue.
Oh, okay. I didn't see him.
He's a little too observant of the picture there, a little bothersome. But yeah, I was hoping to find, well, I'll do it shortly. I'll look while we're talking. I'm sorry, I totally disrupted everything.
No,
No, Mike was talking about
the
going
lake.
to the lake.
The lake.
So this lake, you could walk out, and it's typical for like a camping lake where you could walk out to a certain distance and then you walk out to another distance where there's another set of ropes and you can't go beyond that. Well, once you got to the second set of ropes, I was sinking to my knees in the muck that was, and it was very disconcerting. The first time I stepped in it, I thought I was gonna, like, I was a little freaked out, like it was quicksand, like I better like scream, right? And I was able to get myself out of it, but it was, I don't know what the hell was down there, man. I think it was like old leaves piled up, or it's not seaweed, but some kind of water plant. I don't know, but I'm used to like sinking an inch, but I sank like 20 inches into this stuff.
Oh, it was gross.
So here's one of my favorite pictures of all because of the context of it. So Jack and Dana would do selfies throughout the whole thing.
Mhm.
So they put up a selfie on Facebook
Of
and
this?
I'm like, yeah, and this is me taking a picture of them taking a picture of themselves for Facebook.
On Facebook.
Yeah, I'm literally the behind the scenes guy.
Yeah,
So-
you are.
Keep scrolling through some pictures.
They go pretty slow here, but I'll try.
Okay.
Better to let's see.
There's I got my strap. Oh wait, what was the picture with the head in it?
I don't think Zeus got it. Dana got the picture.
Oh, Dana got that picture.
I don't think she sent it to him.
I haven't seen any of these pictures, man. I gotta like. Oh yeah, there we go.
Are we talking about the one with
I like
the special guest that we didn't know about until we found the phone?
We'll talk about that. I did like these pictures, Jack, that you made a point of getting with me and you and Jack, or I'm sorry, you and Tom and you and Zeus. I thought that was great. We should have done some more of that.
Well, yeah, well, those were all taken by Dana, and they're all posted on our Facebook page on, the Friends of Zeus Podcast page on Facebook. But you don't look at Facebook, Mike, so
I'm not even on Facebook. This is a great pick, and yeah, this was Zeus looks very serious there. I don't know. Yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. We got the light. Yeah, that's great, man. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
Everybody was very happy. Like you couldn't have hoped for a better outcome. Again, people that didn't. There's
That's
Jack,
great.
Mike, Rosanna, me. That's Max, Michael, who I still think is the devil. He's just too cute.
Michael's great. He's the sixth. He's the sixth Foz guy, man.
Yeah, there's Tom. Everybody knows. Anna, Daniel, and that's my kid Ollie, who's taller than
everyone. I thought Michael was like 5 feet tall. Like I did not know he was 5. I thought he was like 12 or something from being on the podcast.
That's great, Zeus.
This is fantastic. This is every show. Yeah.
Yeah, this one. There's one where she said make weird faces.
Seriously, you can totally tell we're like Gen X, man. Like this is like every album cover from the 90s.
This is my favorite. Definitely one of them.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic.
And then done in black and white.
Yeah. I mean, I would say, can I do a top? I thought we were gonna do like a top 3 list, but I've got some top stuff I can just rattle through.
Here, you do that. I'm gonna step away for 1 second. I'll be right back.
Well, I'm not gonna do it while you're stepping away. I'll wait till you come back.
Well, wait a minute. I mean, I can at least finish the lake.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, so we go out to this lake, and Dana and I had been talking about that there was a lake, and I said, well, because she was afraid to swim in a lake because of all the critters. And I said, well, I don't particularly want to swim in it either, but I do want to see if we can get a kayak, like rent a kayak.
Yeah.
And so we get there, and I see the lake actually has like a beach. You know, they have sand at the lake, so it feels like you're at the beach. And they have lifeguards at the lake, and everybody's swimming in it. So I felt a little less apprehensive. I'm like, you know, and Dana actually went in before I did, I think, or maybe we sort of staggered into it. And I gotta say, man, I haven't been swimming in so long. And I loved swimming in the lake. I didn't, you know, the bottom of the lake was mucky, and that's to be expected, you know, I guess it's a lake. But I really enjoyed it. And we, you know, and then the kids came by us and we were throwing the ball around, and it made me want to stay in there longer. So like it was a really good time.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you had to hoof it a little bit, but near the lake there was this husband and wife called Fryaholics. They had like a purple food truck set up, and they made hot dogs and hamburgers, and they made like their fresh cut fries. And I gotta say, man, you know, for going to a lake, getting the food was actually, the fries were unbelievably good.
Nice.
At the Cunningham Falls State Park. And I remember Dana, who's kind of a foodie, she got what they called the crab fries, which are French fries with like a crab sauce on it, made with the real crab meat.
Yeah.
And she said it was one of the best things she ever had as far as being out, you know, going to a food truck.
That's awesome. No, I didn't even know that. I'm glad.
It was great. And you know, and obviously we weren't the only ones who ate. The kids were eating it up, and I guess you must have missed the food truck there, Mike.
I didn't have any of the, I know it's hard to believe, but I did not have any of the food at the food truck.
Well, yeah, next time you go, try the fries. You won't be disappointed.
That's good to know. I mean, that's one of the things too that I really like about a trip like this. Like normally when I go camping, it's myself and my immediate family or extended family or one friend family or something like that. I've never, since I was in the Boy Scouts, I haven't been camping with this many people.
Yeah.
And hearing stories and seeing pictures of stuff that happened when I wasn't around is cool. Like there were things like the whole thing that happened when Dana was helping Michael. Like I don't know where I was. I missed that entire thing, but I love the idea that there's all these other things that happen that I wasn't even aware of, because we had like 11 or 12 people out there, you know, doing stuff. I thought that was great. But yeah, like the food at the park, I didn't really know about. I thought that the lake was very cool. I mean, for what it is, having a campsite like that where you've got a lake or a river or something that you can go and
cool
you know, have some fun during the day and cool off is huge. Not every campsite has something like that. So that was a huge
done without
plus.
it though too. We would have been
but it was nice. It was cool. I mean, I definitely liked feeling that. I mean, to me, and I don't know if you and Dana felt this, Jack, but there's something about lake water, like when you get out of it, like a few hours later, it's like your skin feels kind of cool. Like it's just a cool, refreshing feeling. And I don't know if that was a spring fed lake or not. I've been to camping sites that were like quarry lakes where you go out and it's like 3 foot, 4 foot, 5 foot, 130 feet, you know, like it just like goes down.
I think that was a
and it's cold. This lake was warm compared to most I've been in.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys, you know how like when you're looking out on it to your left and then you can see like the lake proper.
And it opened up to your right.
If you go to the left there's these big like retention walls or like brick walls. So I don't know if it is spring fed. But
yeah, I don't know either. But it's a high elevation. I mean, that was the only reason I noticed it is coming up, since I was towing a trailer, like coming up the last 5 miles to the campsite, it was a pretty serious grade. And even leaving, it was a pretty serious grade. And so to have a lake at that elevation seemed kind of weird to me. I don't know what the deal is with that, but
you know, actually, when I think about it, actually, the one that we went to in Shenandoah was actually probably about an 8.5 also, but it was a lot hotter when we were there. But
no, that was a good one. That was a great one.
Into a river, we went fishing, and people are catching huge fish there.
Caverns. Yeah,
yeah,
that was a
but,
cool one.
Another well, should we get into the mystery photo yet?
Oh no,
'Cause
so let me go through. Since I was talking about doing like a top 3, unless you guys want to do a top 3 list, but I've got like 10 things for my
Yeah, go
top
for
3
it.
list.
Go for it. I'm sure we'll
Should we-
agree on a lot of
Should we
them.
do a top 3, or you want me to just go?
No, give us your 10, man.
Okay, so this is like actually it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, top 9. So in no particular order. Number 1, no real rain during the whole trip. That was huge because
Yeah.
normally you get like some rain. Number 2 was the amazing muffins that Dana brought for us. Those were
They were delicious.
No, we brought them.
yes,
Yes, we brought them.
you brought them. Those were fantastic. We can get into that or not. Number 3 was poop in the A-liner, which we covered earlier. That was one of my favorite. And I'll have you know, so the trailer that we have, it's an A-liner, but my wife and I call it, since we're both fans of Ancient Aliens, which we've talked about on this podcast, we call it the Aliener. That's what we call it, because you got to add an E in there. Number 4 was Mystery Girl.
You're explaining it.
Mystery Girl on Dana's phone, which I'll let Jack explain, because I only heard about this afterwards, and I saw the picture, but you
Yeah.
can explain it, Jack.
Well, what happened was, there was a moment where Dana was looking at her phone, and she says to me, "What the hell is this?" And
Oh,
I
no,
said,
go back.
Well, no. I'll get.
Let him tell a story.
Yeah, so she's freaked out because there's this weird picture on her phone. She's like, "Who is this person? How did this end up on my phone?" And I'm looking at it, and it looks like it's a teen, sort of androgynous girl looking into a mirror, posing with this sort of like pseudo-sexual, awkward
Duck lips.
the
Duck lips.
and she had this weird curl coming over her forehead, just very strange looking.
It could have been a boy.
Could have been, yeah, androgynous, right? Could have been a boy. And she's freaking out. She's like, "I didn't download this off Facebook. I have no idea who this is." There you go. And so we're trying to figure it out. And then it occurs to Dana that there was a period of time, maybe the night before, or maybe earlier that day, where we were looking for her phone all over the place because she thought she lost her phone.
Again, something else I was not even aware of.
And it turns out, like, she remembered that there was a period of time where the phone was missing. And where did she find the phone? She found it in the women's room. So apparently at some point, this androgynous teen saw this phone in the ladies' room, decided to pick it up, take a selfie, and then put the fucking phone back
Which is,
where she found it.
it's so fantastic
It makes me
on
love
so
this
many
kid
levels.
Yeah,
on
Yeah.
all levels.
yeah. I mean,
It's so great. Like, you can't even be upset with the girl, right?
Well,
Or boy.
That's
boy.
that's what I said. I said this person wanted to leave their mark.
Yeah.
They wanted to, like, spread
But
them.
Here's the greatest part about it.
It's such a great, it's
Yeah.
so great.
I'm talking to Mike about it later, and we're like going all CSI on it. We're like, that could very well be a boy that that's in a transitioning phase or whatever, because there's a little bit of a mustache.
Yeah.
And so we're like, oh, well, mustache, it could be a girl, and they were taking birth control, and then we're like, and the shirt, it had 72 on it. Well, because sometimes it does cause them to get the little.
I don't think the
Okay.
mustache was the most important thing about this.
No.
But you and I were trying to break it down, what we could figure out about this kid.
I will say this, and I'll just say this now to everyone in podcast land. If you know, or if you are that person that took their selfie with Dana's phone during our camping trip, you will be invited to our next camping trip. Or if you don't want to come, I will personally give you $20 to give your side of the story on camera. Because I think it's fantastic. Now that Zeus has shown the picture.
Yeah.
And then
And then also Zeus, it turned into fodder for like a possible ghost story, like,
Oh yeah,
like maybe this young girl was murdered at the campsite
10 years earlier.
ago,
Yeah,
in 1972.
yeah.
And Dana's like, I'm gonna put the picture of my Facebook, and I'm like, but Dana, that's just cruel. This is the last picture that was ever taken of that.
Now I remember because
shortly after
when Dana showed me the picture, I think the timestamp was like 11:40 p.m. or something crazy,
Right.
11:30, something like that.
Yeah,
So
that's what she meant.
I mean, it's definitely strange. Like me personally, if I see a phone in the bathroom, I'm either going to leave it there because when I find something that I think someone wants, I generally leave it there because I'm like, look, they're going to come back to this spot because they're going to like go through their list. Or I'm going to pick it up and take it to a pawn shop and sell it. No, I don't do that. But my point is to pick it up, take a picture, and then put it back. That is fantastic. I got to give, 5 stars to that person. I think it's fantastic.
It's such a Generation Z thing too. It's such a TikToker, Instagram type of thing to do.
It's fantastic.
It is.
It really is.
I really want to meet them and just because they're our kind of person is really what it comes down to. It's like, that's some funny shit.
I would like to personally invite that person on the show. And if she's out there and sees this, or he. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's they, them.
They, them. Number 5 was the Friday night sausage, peppers, and onions that Dana made. That was my number 5.
By the way, even the kids ate Italian sausage.
Yes.
Which I was surprised. Like Max had one in his hand and was just chomping.
Just chomp like it was corn cob.
Right.
Yeah.
He's a beast, though. That kid, come on, Max is a force.
He's the best eater I've ever seen in my life. So number 6, again, this is in no particular order, but this was on the text thread, but it was Tom's comment about the "Get Outside" sticker on my computer. That was on the lid of my computer that all the kids were playing Hollow Knight on in the middle of the campsite, it is pretty ironic. That was awesome. Number 7 was the name for the weekend we came up with was the callback carbon big footprint weekend. Because we took 4 cars to go everywhere. And number 8 was meeting my buddies. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
And number 9 was the bathroom.
What?
The bathroom. It was a great bathroom.
I'm trying to find. I guess I don't have the picture of the get outside. Oh wait, you missed one.
What? Oh, I'm sure I did.
Tom's go gadget freaking tent.
Oh,
that he put up in like.
Oh yeah, Tom's tent. So he had this tent that you don't have to put it together. You just take it out of the bag and it like fully. You just shake it and it pretty much sets itself up.
Yeah, it looked like a spider. Like it was called the Instant Tent.
The Instant, which is why I think Tom works for the CIA.
Yeah,
because that's the only people that would have that.
He's also still, even after the whole weekend, he's a very mysterious man.
He is. He's very mysterious. Okay, is this the tent?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the bag it came in, which is like twice the size of any other tent bag, by the way. And I was like, man, that seems inefficient.
This is pretty much these pictures that I'm showing here, since you're seeing the whole file.
They took place about 3 seconds apart.
Yeah, they're close to time lapse.
Yeah.
And it's just hilarious. This is Aga's wife who showed up halfway through.
Aga's wife? Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom's wife. Aga.
Tom's wife, Aga.
Tom's wife, Aga. And here is the arcade at our campsite.
Yes, so that's the computer that has the sticker. Actually, it's the one I record the podcast on. Does it say "Go Outside" or "Get"?
It says "Get Outside."
It says "Get Outside" on it. Wait, let's see if I can show that.
But yeah, I did like that there was a constant flow back and forth from the camp to the Hollow Knight, and
those kids were digging the campfire. They were there. They were out there walking around and eating stuff, and they the kids had that sort of pixie dust that you throw in the fire and it makes the fire turn different colors.
Oh yeah.
Like that. Yeah, and then that ended up being very trippy indeed.
Yeah.
I did, however, get a little offended because you guys were like, stop using the lighter fluid to start the fire.
Well, I don't want to eat sausage.
Chemicals on it.
Yeah, no, I got you, but it's not good to have lighter fluid on a fire that you're cooking food on, because then you got all that stuff in there.
No, I know.
Yeah, well, speaking of fire, Zeus, I think we forgot one remarkable thing.
Oh.
Was that on Saturday, we knew we were out of wood when we went to the lake, right? Because we had campfires going Friday night. And so everybody on their own thought, well, let me get the wood. Let's chip in. Let me get the wood, right? So by the time we all get back to camp, we've got 7 effing bags of wood. And we're thinking, okay, well, people can bring the wood home, or maybe they'll let, there's no way. There's no way. No, we were up so late, had that fire going strong all night long.
All of it.
We went through 7 bags of freaking wood in one evening.
In one short evening. And I'm saying normally on a whole weekend, I'll go through 4.
Yeah, I was going to say also, a part of that had to do with Tom constantly playing with the fire. He had a tree that he was using to poke at the fire, and he literally burned it down to like a stick.
Yeah, he did.
He was constantly toying with the fire. The thing about fire is you just let them kind of burn, but he was monitoring it.
There's something about a firelight, man. And you know what? I mean, not to be all like poetic and weird and stuff, but podcasts are kind of like the firelight, right? The modern day version of that. I mean, people getting around the firelight and like chatting about stuff and talking about stuff. Yeah, isn't that kind of equivalent?
Yeah, totally. And we certainly did a lot of that, man. Next thing you know, it was 2:45 in the morning, and it was 3:30 by the time we went to bed that second night.
Oh, we could have done 4 episodes out of the conversations we had.
Yeah, but I think that's why it was so natural, is because what we do is kind of that. That's kind of what this show is. It's kind of people sitting around the firelight.
So we know how we play off each other well. Like you guys can see the glimmer in my eye when I'm about to say something snarky or dark and awful. Yeah. And like Jack likes to sit back and just watch and wait, and then, oh look, world's gonna burn, and then you see the little glimmer in his eyes. And you were like the storyteller. You were like the Gandalf of the group.
Yeah, as opposed to every week on this podcast. Mike's the heart of the podcast.
He was on fire. He told us all stories. I mean, we've heard a lot of the stories on the show, but some of the stories were new and interesting. Like the one about you being in the bar.
Oh yeah. He moved.
Yeah.
One of them moved.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Yeah, I learned a lot about Mike I didn't know. And again, Tom remains a mystery. I gotta say.
Tom remains.
No, that's what he is. He's Stephen Wright. He's Joe Bland, and he just pops up with some funny as hell shit out of
plus it's like he showed up, backed up, opened the thing, set up the tent, bing, bing, and then like broke camp like 2 days later and he was gone. You know what I mean?
That's right. Yeah, he was very efficient. You could tell he'd been camping with 3 kids, mostly by himself. Did not seem to be a chore for him at all.
Was not new to that.
No.
I mean, I would say, I know we talked about like doing this again. I don't know. I don't think I want to wait till next summer. I don't think it has to be a camping trip again. I don't know what it is. I like the idea of the beach house. I like the idea of the wintertime beach house or
a cabin,
going to a casino or a cabin or
and it could be just a 3-day weekend or 4 days.
Yeah.
I mean,
it doesn't have to be crazy. I think 3 nights is the goal. I think that's the best.
And then we definitely would have filmed a podcast had we had more time that Sunday, because on Sunday you get up, Tom took his kids hiking, Zeus went fishing with his boys, and then it was time to start breaking everything down. because most of us had to work Monday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was pretty much just the 2 nights. One more night would have been perfect. And then
And we do that in a cabin situation, where we might have Wi-Fi and all, because I think the thing, speaking for me, the only discouragement that I had towards doing it is that we were going to do it like straight up filming, like a 2-camera shoot kind of.
Mhm.
I think that would have been cool because we had Dana who was willing to film it.
Yeah.
But it is a little intimidating in the same note, because I just feel like editing might be harder. We don't know what it's like.
Yeah, but also, I mean, honestly, I mean, looking back, I don't regret it because I talk to you guys all the time when we're being recorded. So it was nice to talk like kind of off the record, to be honest with you. I appreciated that part of it.
You're right about that. That was cool. And gosh, there was one other thing I wanted to mention. We were talking about the fire, and I can't think of what. Oh, yeah.
The dog.
Yes, the dog in the fire. Okay, so just there. Okay, now one thing, there is this mysterious muffin involved probably, but let me just say the kids put the magic dust into the fire, and we're all tired from swimming that day, and we're all really mellow, and so you spend a lot of time looking at the fire even when you're talking. You know what I mean? There it is.
Yeah.
And so Dana loves photography, right? So she's looking at the fire, and she's like, "Oh, I want to see if I can get a picture of the different colors of the fire." So I'm like, okay, and this is what she does. She takes pictures, and so she takes a picture of the fire, like probably about 10 of them, and then she's scrolling through and she's looking for the best picture of the fire. Maybe she'll post it. And I'm sitting next to her, and I'm feeling really good, right? Like, I mean, I'm feeling nice and mellow.
Well, those muffins were good.
Right, yeah, the muffins were good. And we just mentioned that in passing.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Oh my God." And I'm freaking out. Like, I thought she saw something out in the woods, right? So I'm just sitting there. I don't think you actually know. That's not the picture, Zeus.
No, but this is a cool one too.
No, well, okay. Well, let me tell the story because that's not the picture. Yeah, Dana's got the picture. I should have had her send it to me for the podcast. I would have gotten it to you.
Yeah.
But she's like, "Look at this," and she hands me the phone. And I look at the phone and I see the fire, and I'm like, "Okay, I don't know if it came out that great, but that's cool, you know, whatever." And she's like, "No, really look at it. What do you see?" And I look at it, and right there in the center of the flame, I look at it, I look at her, and I see the face of a dog. And she's like, "So do I."
I saw it too. I saw it too.
And she's like, "It looks like Zoogie." Now, Zoogie is her dog that died. Okay. So she's like, "Look at it. It looks just like Zoogie." And I had to admit, I'm like, it kind of does look like Zoogie, right? So then now she's running around the campfire showing all you guys the dog face in the fire. Now, I was feeling mellow and feeling really good. The last thing I needed to do was look at the fire and see the face of a dead dog.
Yes, that's kind of a
that messed with my mellow a little bit, I have to say.
And well,
I thought it was actually kind of cool. Like
it was.
You know, and clearly it's, you know, it's a trick of the light, it's the perfect second, or we were being visited by Dana's dead dog
in Thurmont, Maryland.
But isn't that, I mean, it's still nice to think about.
Yeah,
well, and that's why I took my pictures, because I was like, because I saw it too, and I'm like, you know what, let's just test this theory out. So I just took a few pictures of the fire, and the one that I just had up I thought was kind of cool, because I think Mike or Tom that said that it looked like a devil
that was Tom.
Girl in the car.
Yeah,
I thought that was actually pretty good. The other one, the first one I saw, I said it was a Metallica concert. See all the hands up and then the last one, I think I said it was Dirty Dancing.
Yeah.
So apparently we were just seeing our memories of
Yeah.
in the
Yeah,
past.
I don't see anything in those pictures.
I
but
think it's Richard Nixon and McGovern. Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously.
Actually, I think the last one was the they she from the bathroom because they passed away right after.
Now, I will say, just for the record, in case they are out there watching, I did not think it was someone who was androgynous. I did think it was a girl. I think she's probably like 13 or 14. That's my guess. 14.
I have no idea.
I
thought
thought
it could.
androgynous.
I thought
But-
it could have been. I thought it could have been a dude.
But kudos to them because that was well played.
One of the funniest things, second only to shitting in your trailer. That's the first thing.
Which I can't wait to meet to talk to him when he's like 18 because I'm gonna always remind him of that.
Yeah.
And I thought about that at the time. I'm like, at the time, I was like, when he's older, I'm gonna totally tell him this.
Yeah. Remember
And
that time you shit in my trailer?
Yeah, especially when I meet his girlfriend for the first time.
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, let me tell you this story. Yeah, the first thing I said to Mike afterwards, hey Mike, I'm really sorry about my kid shitting in your trailer.
I'm just glad it wasn't you, because that would have been a catastrophe.
Yeah, I'm glad it wasn't me either.
At least little kid poop is, it's not as
So
bad.
less stinky or more less.
It's just not as
disgusting.
bad. It's like, it's not as bad.
Mine just has more alcohol and shame in it.
I will say, and then, so I haven't gotten my battery replaced yet. My car battery died twice, and it hasn't died again, and I keep putting it off. So I'm saving 20 cents a day until I get it replaced.
But even that worked out. Everything worked out on this trip.
It did.
Everything we didn't expect, everything we expected.
Oh,
the
I do-
unsuspected things were great.
I do have a little epilogue for you, Zeus, you and Ollie. So you guys went fishing, and I took home your fishing stuff because
Oh, that's
you guys
right.
couldn't fit it in your car. And I was thinking the other day, yesterday, I was like, oh, they said they got bait. And I'm like, holy crap, I bet you that bait is still in the car.
I threw it out, I
no.
think.
No. So I went in the bucket and I got the little container of worms, and they were like barely hanging on. They were like, so they got released at in a very nice place. So they are they're living in Silver Spring, Maryland now, in a nice place. They almost got cooked to death.
They're like, where the fuck are we? Where the fuck are
Yeah.
we?
Yeah, I was like, holy crap, I think there's like live worms in my car somewhere, like
Oh, that's fantastic.
36 hours later.
And
So anyway, I'm just saying, I think they survived. That's all I
here's the
wanted to
beauty
say.
of having
Good
a
job,
teenage boy. All he wanted to do was go fishing.
That's all he wanted. Dude, when I woke up Sunday
Oh my
morning,
God.
it was like bumblefuck o'clock in the morning, and like I can't even see through all the like crap in my eyeballs, and I open up the door to the trailer and I walk out, and Ollie's like, let's go fishing. I was like,
And I was so
that boy loves fishing, dude. You
Mike-
have to send him to like a fishing summer camp or something. Seriously, for real.
Mike was so evasive about it, and I'm being evasive, and I was trying to like get Mike to at least come along so I'd have somebody.
So here's the deal, and I know Ollie watches these things. So listen, I want to go fishing. I love fishing. Fishing is fantastic, but the whole point of the weekend was to hang out with you guys. So I didn't want to just like disappear. Fishing can be like 8 hours, dude. I mean, it can take the whole day. So
And
I just didn't want to do that.
We had a little meltdown whilst going to fishing because it took like an hour to get bait. We had to go
I know.
like 3 different places, and then we got there, and he broke 2 fishing rods trying to set them up.
But I brought all my stuff.
Wait. This is the part that infuriated me. He wouldn't bait the hook. I had to put the worm on the hook, and I didn't even get to cast.
No.
I mean, I'm fine with baiting the hook, but like, why do I want to do all that gooey, gross stuff if
I
I'm
think-
not at least casting.
I think fishing needs to be like 3 nights minimum
Yeah.
when we're.
And I mean, with the camping trip, yeah, definitely. And maybe, when he's older, next time we do this, he'll definitely be old enough.
Dude,
that we
and
can
I
be
love
like,
fishing. It's not that I don't. I love it.
I love
mean,
fishing.
I just
But-
didn't want to be like, hey, Jack and Tom and Zeus, I'll see you guys in 8 hours. I'm gonna go.
Well,
I mean, that's like
right.
But
horrible.
here's where the meltdown came up, and it was from me. He's like, this whole thing was supposed to be about fishing. I'm like, are you kidding?
No, it was not.
Like, it was all about this picture behind me. These guys together
Yes.
to take that picture.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, it was about the show. That's why. But we wanted to bring our kids and have a good time. And we did. You were having, I was like, you're having a good time, right? He's like, yeah, but I just wanted to fish. And then we fished for like 20 minutes. It was like, I think that if I would have not gone on the fishing thing and Tom had been back, we would have done an episode.
A show. Look,
But-
I think, and I know Jack's like off for a second here, but I am up for some sort of wintertime beach house thing. And it could be like Cape May, because Cape May is only,
Great idea.
Cape May is like 2.5, 3, or somewhere on the Jersey Shore. So it's like 2 hours from Jack. It's like 2 hours, 2.5
Is that
hours
like
from us.
is that like going to Hinlapin and you can take the ferry over, or?
Well, no, I don't think we take the ferry. I think you just drive. But
Okay.
still, it's probably like 2.5 hours for us. Jack, I
think
was just
beach
saying,
house
like
in the
during the
winter
winter, if we
Yeah.
get a place on the Jersey Shore for like a beach house for a 3-day weekend or something like that.
Yeah.
3-night
Cape May-
weekend.
Winter sounds
Yeah.
cheap and
Cape
fun.
May is freaking awesome, man.
No, Cape May is great, and it's the southernmost point in New Jersey, so it's got to be relatively, a decent drive for you guys.
Well, actually, even like some of the beaches just north of there, because from here to get to Cape May, you have to go over and then go down quite a ways. So even some places that are north of Cape May, and the prices may be a little better.
Yeah, like Avalon. Places
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, something
Yeah,
like
no.
that. We should look into that. And
Yeah,
No,
no,
it's
that-
not. This is a little behind the scenes or behind baseball. What you call it, inside baseball. It's not at all feasible to go to like Hinlapin, hop on the ferry, and go across. Does
I
that
mean-
save time, or is it too expensive?
no, we could, but I think during the winter you don't want to camp. During the winter you want to be in the house. And I'm just saying,
No. I'm saying to go to Hinlapin, go like the route that you would take to Hinlapin, and then just take the ferry over from
Oh,
there.
you could. Yeah, you
Or
could do that.
Is that longer than actually?
It's like a
driving?
45-minute boat ride from Lewis to Cape May. But you could
I
do
think
it.
I'll do that.
Well, we'll definitely figure something out because we had a good time.
I don't want to wait till next summer.
It was so much fun. It was, I mean, like anybody from the show that wants to join us next time, we'll set it up. We'll have a big.
We should open it up to the rings, like the tours and Mike EPs and
Mhm.
Oh, that would be
Mike
great.
from Florida's and all
Des
those guys.
from-
Mike from Florida. Yeah, we'll get him up there.
Des, yeah,
Des
Des,
from
like open it up to all those folks, because these beach houses, they hold like freaking 12 people, man.
Yeah,
I
they
think of all of them, Desiree, not to knock on Mikey P or Macalino, I think they would try and Macalino's got to come from St. Pete, but that dude.
I'm just saying, we can always invite them.
Yeah, I think that would be a lot of fun. Like build the network.
Late January, you will get bottom barrel pricing.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think
All
we
right,
should.
well, Yeah,
Let's
so
start
it'll be.
thinking about it.
We could
absolutely.
probably get a place for like $1,000 for a whole week
Mhm.
and split
That'd be
among
for
all of us. That
everybody. Yeah,
gets
that'd be
very
nothing.
manageable.
Yeah, that'd
Yeah,
be great.
super manageable.
Well, boys, I think we've maybe have been on for a little while now, and I think
And I got to go to the camp store and get some more logs for this fire out here.
absolutely, yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
Do they
we
have
should wrap
blinds
things
there?
up.
Because your blinds are shitty.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Um, Go ahead,
What is,
Jack.
yeah, no, I already did. What are you gonna say? You talked over me.
I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. I was gonna say, Mike, at the end of this, we'll send you the picture of the ghost child that died shortly after the picture.
Yes.
You can put it up on the you can put it up at the end, like in loving memory of, have you seen this?
And we'll get last week's episode up about 10 minutes before this episode goes live.
Well, also, I'll try to get you the dog in the fire picture.
Dog in the fire.
Yes. Shoot,
Dog in the
yeah,
fire.
text that over to me, and that we'll put that here at the end in the credits.
All right,
That's
cool.
hilarious.
All right.
All right.
All
Love
right.
you
It has
guys.
been fun.
Take
It has
care.
been a while. All right. Pause it.
How you doing? Your friendly neighborhood co-host Tom here. Really sorry I missed the camping podcast wrap up, but I decided I'm going to make it up to you. I got a little rendition of the Hello Mata, Hello Fata video or song. It's if you don't know what it is, it's an old song by Alan Sherman from 1963. It was a song he wrote based on a letter that his son sent home to him from camping, from a summer camp. It's a classic comedy piece. Should probably be, if there was a Smithsonian of comedy, Hello Mata, Hello Fata would be in there, along with like Abbott and Costello, Who's on First, things like that. It's one of those classic comedy bits. So since I can't be there for the camping episode, I'm going to make it up to you. Maybe make it up to you. You might hate this, but I'm going to do a little rendition of Hello Mata, Hello Fata, okay? Based on our camping trip at Cunningham Falls in Maryland this recently. All right, you ready? Hello Mata, hello Fata. Greetings from Camp Cunningham Falls. Camping with the Friends of Zeus cast is the best fun 'cause we are having a blast. We went swimming in the lake here. We were feeling something quite queer. It was spongy and so curious. It was seaweed that was coming up to our ass. We are sitting at the campfire, making s'mores and telling jokes there. Was it the muffins or the whiskey? I don't know, but we saw demons in the fire. Then at 3 a.m., we went to our tents. Jack was looking for where the bears went. The snakes were lucky. They took a scamper, 'cause someone took a big shit in Mike's camper. All right, guys. That's all I got. I'll hope to see you soon and get back on track with you guys when we get back from our trip in New Mexico. I hope to tell you all about it if I survive, but we'll see. All right, guys. Bye.